What's going on, horror lovers? Horror with Hoss come back to you with another video, and it's going to be another entry in the Dollar Tree Theater. Wanted to do a review today of the movie The Pale Door from 2020. This movie is directed by Aaron B. Kuntz. Um, has an approximate runtime, I think, of like an hour and let's see, well, roughly an hour and a half. But basically, this is a horror western um, filmed, I think, pretty much in Oklahoma, but it doesn't say that's where it's set at. But it actually doesn't give a date or anything. But it is in the Western Times, and starts off this movie. You meet Jake and Duncan, they're brothers. Jake's the younger brother, and he's a little scared. One night, he hears like the trees, kind of the limbs hitting against the windows, and so Duncan gets up to try to calm him and soothe him and let him know everything's going to be okay. He gives him this handkerchief to put around, kind of like how cowboys wear them around their neck, and he says that'll help to protect you or whatever. And just like right after that happens, then their dad comes bust in the room and says, basically says, it's time, we got to go. And he gives both the boys guns. He has a gun, or the dad has a gun, and then they get downstairs and mom has a gun. So you don't really know what's going on other than there's somebody that's coming up outside that's an enemy. Jake and Duncan go to hide, and basically these bandits, or whatever you want to call it, come upon the house, and I guess to kill everybody that's there. They end up getting saved by a man, Lester, who we find is a friend of the family, and he tells them, like, let's go. And that Lester's played by Stan Shaw, who's a character actor. He's been in a lot of different movies over the years. But basically, he wants to get them to leave, and you see that the mother and father have been killed, so he then takes them, I guess, to raise as his own, in a way. And then you skip ahead in time, and the next time that you see Jake, he's looks to be like probably late teens, maybe getting to early 20s, but late teens, early 20s. And he's working at a saloon, and you also get to see Duncan again, but he's now leader of the Dalton gang. Jake is played by Devin Druid, and Duncan's played by Zachary Knighton. And you see that the older brothers kind of turn to a life of crime, and the younger brother, Jake, is kind of, I guess, trying to live a normal type life. But basically, Duncan's gang, one of their members ends up getting in a shootout with someone out in the out front of this saloon, and gets mortally wounded. So then they start talking about, well, now they're going to be down a member to pull off this train heist that they're wanting to do. And so Jake basically offers his help, says that he'd like to go along with them. And of course, Duncan objects to this because he doesn't really want him getting into this lifestyle. He ends up going ahead and letting him come. So they go to pull off the train heist. They think there's money on board. They find there's a different type cargo, though, when they open this trunk, and there's a girl inside it. And her name, she ends up talking with them. She tells them her name is Pearl, and that she doesn't really tell them anything of why she was in there or why they were transporting her. And there was like at least probably 8 to 10 people that were guarding this trunk in the train. So why is she so heavily guarded? She offers to take them to her town, Potemkin, because by this point Duncan has been injured and needs some medical assistance, and she gives them her word that they can find the medical assistance there. So they follow her to this town, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave it here, other than to just say that it seems like it's a ghost town, and they find that there are a bunch of women that are there at this brothel that they go to, and you get to meet Pearl's mother by the name of Maria, who's played by Melora Walters, who's another actress who's been in quite a few movies and I think TV as well throughout the years. So basically you find out that things aren't exactly what Pearl has promised to them, and ends up they get more than they bargained for in this town. I'll just say that. And as it goes along, you find out more of the story, but I don't want to give away too much, other than just to say that this image on the front, that you do end up seeing that later in the movie, and this group, the Dalton gang, and Jake, they are basically having to fight for their lives to survive. So that's how I'm going to leave it. And I will say, I think it's a good movie. There's also some little bit of bonus features with this as well. They tell you a little bit of the behind the scenes of how they made the movie, and that was really interesting. So I'd say this is definitely worth a watch. If you can find this one, pick it up. I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, just it's a cool take on a horror western, and I think they did a good job. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Click the notification bell, and that way you'll know every time I upload a new video. Hope all of you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.